Boundaries are an important part of life. They are essential for creating healthy relationships, both personal and professional, and protecting your mental and physical well-being. But why you need to set boundaries may not always be obvious. It is important to take the time to understand why setting boundaries is so important, and how to do it effectively. In this video, we will discuss why you need to set boundaries and how to go about doing so. What are boundaries? These are the limits we set for ourselves and others. They define our individual space and protect us from being taken advantage of. They also serve to create healthy relationships with others by setting expectations and allowing us to respect each other's boundaries. It is not about controlling or dictating how someone should behave, but rather about creating a safe environment for everyone involved. Boundaries come in many forms. They can be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, and even sexual. Setting these limits can help us feel secure, comfortable, and respected. It is important to remember that while we must be respectful of others' boundaries, we must also be mindful of our own and take ownership of them. The importance of setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential in every area of life, be it personal, professional, or social. They help to maintain healthy relationships with others, while also protecting our own mental and emotional health. Establishing boundaries sets clear limits that allow us to maintain our sense of self and how we want to be treated by others. When we set and enforce boundaries, we can more easily manage expectations, both of ourselves and those around us. It allows us to communicate our needs and expectations without feeling guilty or obligated. We can practice self-care by making sure that our time and energy are being spent in a way that is beneficial for ourselves and others. Drawing the line can also help us become more assertive when dealing with difficult people and situations. Overall, setting boundaries is an important step in building healthy relationships and protecting our own mental and emotional well-being. Different types of boundaries. Let's look at 4 different areas where we set boundaries. Personal boundaries. These boundaries define how you want to be treated by others and provide guidelines for how you will interact with them. Examples include saying no when you don't want to do something or establishing physical boundaries, like no hugging. Professional boundaries. This refers to the way we act in a professional setting, such as at work. These types of boundaries help maintain a healthy working environment and mutual respect. Examples include being punctual, keeping confidential information private, and adhering to a code of conduct. Emotional boundaries. These boundaries are the invisible walls that protect our mental health and emotional well-being. It is important to establish these boundaries so that we can recognize what is and isn't acceptable in our relationships. Examples include allowing yourself to say no without feeling guilty and not allowing others to dictate how you should feel or react. Social boundaries. These are the rules and regulations we set up to maintain respectful relationships with others. They help us determine appropriate behaviors in social situations and provide guidelines for how we communicate with those around us. Examples include following through on commitments, respecting the opinions of others, and not being judgmental. By understanding the different types of boundaries, we can better understand our needs and create healthy relationships. Establishing boundaries is an important part of self-care, as it allows us to take care of ourselves and our mental health. How to set boundaries. When it comes to setting boundaries, it's important to remember that your comfort level should be your guide. It's also important to set clear, firm limits about what behavior you will and will not accept from others. Here are some tips for setting boundaries. Know yourself and your values. Before you can start, you need to know what your values and priorities are. Spend some time reflecting on your values and the things that matter most to you in your relationships and interactions with others. Communicate your boundaries clearly. Once you know what your boundaries are, it's important to communicate them clearly and assertively to those around you. Let people know when their behavior is crossing a line and why it's unacceptable. Make sure to be specific and state the consequences if they continue to cross your boundaries. Respect others' boundaries. Just as you expect others to respect your boundaries, make sure you respect theirs too. This includes being mindful of how your words and actions might affect them and responding appropriately. Be consistent. Once you have set a boundary, make sure you stick to it. Don't allow people to push past your boundaries by making excuses or ignoring your requests for respect. Be consistent with what you say and do, and don't give in to pressure or guilt trips. Setting boundaries can be a difficult but essential part of maintaining healthy relationships and taking care of yourself. By understanding what your boundaries are, communicating them, respecting others' boundaries, being consistent, and taking time for yourself, you can learn to set effective boundaries that will help protect you and make you feel safe. The benefits of setting boundaries. Setting boundaries can bring several benefits, both to you and those around you. When you set boundaries, you make it clear what your limits are and how you expect to be treated. This can help to create healthier relationships with others and can also lead to greater respect and understanding. Having well-defined boundaries can also help reduce stress levels and give you a better sense of control. By setting boundaries, you can take responsibility for your life and make decisions based on what is best for you, rather than letting other people control you. Furthermore, setting boundaries can help ensure that your relationships remain positive and healthy. By communicating clearly about what is and isn't acceptable, you can avoid unnecessary conflict or arguments. Finally, setting boundaries can also help you to build trust in yourself and those around you. It shows that you respect yourself and your relationships and that you have the strength to stand up for what is right. So, take control of your life and start setting your boundaries today. I appreciate you taking a moment to watch. If you have any thoughts or questions, please comment. Help us out by liking and sharing this video, as well as subscribing to the channel to see more content like this in the future.